You cannot have a discussion, debate, or conflict with these people. They won't even read your message. So start this process 1 month before you visit China. Okay, today I'm going to be talking about the L visa for China. So if you want to visit China as a tourist, you want to visit the country, maybe your country doesn't have a visa exemption program, maybe you want to stay longer than 30 days. So I'm going to cover all the gotchas to do with applying for a visa through the Visa for China website. And there's a lot of weird things, and this is what I want to cover in this video, so that if you want to visit China in the future, you're going to be prepared, you're going to know how long you need to apply for the visa, where to apply, and everything else. So let's go. So the first thing you want to do is figure out where you want to apply from. Which Chinese embassy do you want to visit in person to surrender your passport for a few days while they obtain a visa for you and give it over to you? So I did mine I tried to do it in Bangkok in Thailand. I kind of gave up, and then I did it in Hanoi in Vietnam. You can do it in your home country, it's up to you. But the price and the visa validity is going to be different depending which embassy you apply from. If I want to apply from my home country, I can get a 10-year visa, a 5-year visa, all these different visa options. But if you apply from, say, Vietnam or Bangkok, they're probably only going to give you a 30 or a 60-day visa from that embassy. However, the price will be a lot cheaper. So if I get a 30-day visa through Vietnam, it's going to be so much cheaper than doing that from London or any other European city. So there is a price factor as well. So if you want a 30-day visa, you're not really in a rush, you don't care where you apply from, then do it from a cheaper country. You're going to have a much easier time with the price and maybe the process as well. So it does depend. I did it from Vietnam because it's close to the China border. I was visiting Vietnam at the time, and then I decided to visit China for what ended up being 40 days. So the application form, it will get rejected about 6 to 8 times. You feel like you've typed in everything correctly, they reject it. It is perfectly normal, don't worry. You're gonna submit your application, you're gonna get an email a few hours later, maybe the next day, saying it's been rejected. And every time it gets rejected, it's gonna be for some really pedantic reason, which doesn't really make sense, but they are very strict with everything you put on this form. So I'm going to cover a few gotchas now, so you're sort of somewhat prepared. Every time it gets bounced back, you lose 2 days. So this whole process, set aside maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. So don't do this last minute. And you may be thinking, oh, well, what if I do priority? Priority doesn't matter during the application process. Priority only kicks in when you visit the embassy for the first time. So that's a gotcha there. So the first one, let's just go through some weird things, right? Your passport photo needs a white background, not an off-white background. It's got to be white. So go in Photoshop, use the magic wand, and delete the background out. It works, no problem. Second one, if you have a middle name, use it everywhere. They want to see your flight tickets to China, they want to see your flight tickets out of China, and they want to see a hotel reservation for your entire stay in China. Pro tip, use trip.com or Agoda. Secure these things, then you can always cancel them afterwards. If you don't want to buy a flight when you leave because you don't know where you're going to leave from, then you can go to a dummy ticket website, and what these do is you pay 10-15 US dollars, the equivalent of, and it will give you an e-ticket number. The e-ticket number is valid, it exists in the airline system, and it works for them to verify you're going to arrive and leave from China, but it's not a real flight. It just gives you that e-ticket number in the airline system, so you can do this for visa reasons. And this is going to be very useful if you travel a lot in the future. Another thing, so when you have all these tickets, use your middle name everywhere. If your name is put that everywhere. In every single ticket, it needs to match your passport. They are going to check your name in everything, and middle names are apparently very important, almost like a first name. So just make sure if you have one, put it everywhere, or if you don't have one, don't put anything. So another one, if you're dual citizen, they want to know. They want to know your parents' birth dates. They want to know absolutely everything. It's a very thorough form, in fact. You don't need an invitation letter. You don't need to know somebody in China. It does help you. It might go a bit more swimmingly, but it's not necessary. I didn't know anyone in China. It doesn't matter. If you're self-employed, you may think, oh, well, my home address is my business address. No. They want you just put your home address twice as your business address, and put yourself as your employer. They literally rejected my application because I didn't put my employer's name, which is my name. I just said I'm self-employed. Nothing is literal, maybe that's the right word. I don't know. Literally very pedantic, and don't be surprised if it comes back, because it will be the most stupid little reason, you know. You may need an itinerary. So when I applied in Vietnam, I didn't need an itinerary, but when I tried to apply in Bangkok, they wanted to know what I was doing on every single day of my planned 30-day trip. I just went on ChatGPT, I said, can you just give me a 30-day itinerary? They just pasted it back, and I put that in the application form. You shouldn't need it, and you don't have to live by it either. You also don't need to stay in the same hotel for 30 days. They just want to see that you have an address to go to. They want that address of the hotel, and that will be your place you're staying in China. But this is just for the visa requirements. They're not going to knock on the hotel door and check that you're still there. But they do want to see it. You are not visiting China without a return flight and without a hotel. Impossible. So once you've juggled this application, figured everything out, one more thing I'm going to say is in Bangkok, my maximum duration of the stay was only 30 days. They wouldn't offer a 60-day visa, a 1-year visa, nothing. An L visa for a tourist, 30 days in Bangkok. But in Hanoi, in Vietnam, they offered 30 days and 60 days. And also another one is the number of entries. In Bangkok, it was just one entry, one time. In Vietnam, it was actually, they gave me more options. I could go in once or I could go in twice. So it does depend on the embassy, and you're gonna have to really dig into that. Maybe even contact the embassy, because sometimes you're filling out this application, it gives you all these options, you kind of tick the one you want, and then it gets rejected because they don't even offer it. So the form offers you things which are not available sometimes as well. And that's another gotcha as well. It's crazy. So what you'll need, you need a passport with 6 months validity. Your passport needs one blank page. You need a visa stamp from the country you're applying from. So unless you're there illegally, you should have no problem with that. Any previous Chinese visa stamps. Have you been to China before? Take a picture of every single stamp in your passport as well. I covered the hotel reservation and the round ticket air flights and the dummy flights. And for some reason, when I applied from Bangkok, they wanted to see my flight arriving into Bangkok, which makes no sense at all. But you cannot have a discussion, debate, or conflict with these people. They won't even read your message. So if they ask for it, just try and give it to them. Yeah, crazy. Once they approve all of this, this is where everything starts. So if you buy priority, then you hand in your passport to the embassy. They're going to tell you how much you need to pay and how to pay it. So when I applied from Vietnam, no joke, I had to pay a big amount in local currency, Vietnamese dong. Then they wanted 23 US dollars in, I'm not joking, US dollars, 23 US dollars in pristine bills, no creases, no flaws, and it had to be from a certain year. I am not joking. I don't even know what that means. I had to go to Chinatown in Hanoi to figure out how to get US dollars, and I never got my change from $30. So every embassy is going to be different. They're going to tell you to do a backflip. They're going to tell you to do something very strange. But when you do that, you surrender your passport, come back in 3 to 5 days, depending if you chose the priority or the normal service. And you're going to come back and your passport's going to have the visa stamp in there. And then your visa will have an expiry date. So mine was 120 days. That means I have to visit China in that 120-day window for a duration of 30 days, one entry, not multiple entries. So that was the requirement of my L visa, and it was a huge hassle, but we got done in the end. I had to visit the embassy twice, once to drop the passport off and once to pick it up. Getting the $23 was a nightmare. Somehow did it. But every embassy is going to be very different. So it depends where you apply from. It depends on so many things. But these are all the hoops I had to do to apply for a visa for China. And during my trip to China, my country made an agreement with the Mr. President, and now I don't even need an L visa. So it was a bit of a kick in the teeth, but at least I know how to do this. I can give you some of the gotchas, and I think the important takeaway is start this process 1 month before you visit China. Trust me. Alright, thank you for watching. Let me know how it goes. If you have any questions about the whole process, drop a comment in the video description. I'll aim to help you out. Okay, I'll see you in the next video coming soon. Take care. And check out my other China videos on my channel. So getting that $23 is very difficult, especially in a country where you're trying to buy dollars. It's the wrong way around. So the bills have to be 2013 or later and perfectly straight. No ones, no fives, no 50s, no hundreds. It's literally 10 or 20. Absolutely impossible, but I think 9 banks and exchanges later finally have it.